Here we are at the start of another week. Well, do they go? It's the middle of May already and it still feels like New Year. Wow. I'm going to do a series of short talks this week, maybe running into next week. I'll see how it goes. About what I'm calling 360-degree coaching. Uh, Many coaching approaches start from one or another perspective. Some say that the heart of good coaching and development is to pay attention to your mindset. Some forms of coaching pay attention to skills like communication and confidence and all of that sort of thing. And some coaching approaches are very structural, how to organize things, how to organize your office and so on. And I think they're all great. They're all really useful. But I think they're all partial because everything in your daily experience, whether that's personal or professional, is interconnected. Your personal experience is interconnected with the structures that you're working in. The structures that you're working within are interconnected with the nature of the relationship you have with people within those structures. So that's getting a bit complicated. Let's simplify. What does it mean to have three domains, as I call them, of focus? That's what Self with Others is based on. Paying attention to three things so that we get a 360-degree perspective on our situation. Well, the first of those three things is that we pay attention to our inner work, ourselves. It is mindset, it's awareness of our body, it's confidence, it's tension, it's the understanding that we are living creatures with natural needs, fears, anxieties, ambitions, hopes, all of this stuff. The first thing that we look at in Self with Others is our inner work. What do we need to do or stop doing within ourselves to enable ourselves to move forward, to stop feeling so lost, to refine our passion, whatever it is we're trying to do? That's the first stage, the inner work. The second domain that I suggest we look at is what I call connection with, the domain of connection with. What or who are you paying attention to? How are you paying attention to that? Are you focused in your attention, or is your attention all over the place? Are you distracted or focused? The second domain is paying attention to the discipline of deciding who or what to pay attention to and making sure that the quality of that connection is as clear and as focused as possible. The third domain we pay attention to is the domain of systems. What is the system that you're working in? The system might be the power relationships between you and another person or another object. It might be the environment you're meeting in. It might be a shared history. The system is all the stuff outside of you and whatever you're connecting with that affects the nature of your relationship with whatever it is that you're trying to do. Now, the reason we look at all three of these at once is pretty straightforward. There's no point in developing a great mindset if you're in a system that prevents you from growing. There's no point in saying, I don't like my job, I don't like my system, as if you move to a new job and you take the same self-destructive attitudes with you. There's no point in having a great attitude and working in a great place if you're completely unable to communicate with the people you need to share with. We need to be able to develop ourselves in all three areas: the area of inner work, the area of connection with, and the area of understanding and working within or changing systems. More than that, we need to be able to identify which domain or area needs our primary concern. If you're stuck, is your first concern with doing something with yourself, or is it to do with changing how and where you're working? Is your first concern to do with changing where you're working, or how you're communicating with the people you're working with? So, Self with Others, which I'm going to be looking at a little bit this week in more detail, is based on awareness of and attention to three domains: the domain of the self, inner work, the domain of connection with, and the domain of systems. When we bring all three of those perspectives together, we create 360-degree coaching. is what I'm doing. 360-degree perspectives on one's personal and professional life so that you can see clearly what needs changing and use your psychic energy effectively. Not wasting loads of time trying to change something that frankly doesn't need changing very much. Instead, using your energy to change the thing that needs changing. I have space for a couple of coaching clients at the moment. If this approach is interesting to you, drop me a message and do it today, because I don't take on many clients, but I do. I've got 2 clients finishing this week. So get in touch if you're interested. Okay. Domain of the inner work, domain of connection with, domain of systems. Think about it in the course of today. What needs your attention? I hope your week's starting fantastically.